Okay, we're recording, so watch the language now. Okay, is everyone ready? You're supposed to cheer. Yay, woo! Welcome to CRP. Okay, let me get this, close that. There we go. And okay, I think we had a really good class. I think we got a lot accomplished. I'm very happy with everybody. So I wish you all a good week. Now, I like to do that. I was hoping I'd catch somebody as they're just coming in at that moment. That way they're like, what the hell? I just got here. It's over already? But it didn't quite work. I didn't see anyone come in. It happens occasionally. It's very funny to watch then. And then the rest of you have to jump in and go, oh, yeah, we got a lot out of it. It was a great class. You missed it all. Okay, I'll go a little bit of background about me. I was born and bred in New Jersey. So right now I'm talking very quietly and very slowly. I get a lot louder and a lot faster, and that's just normal for me. So if you find that I'm doing it, you have my permission to scream, to say naughty things in the chat box, whatever, because I don't realize I'm doing it. Is anyone else from the Northeast out there? I haven't seen the attendance list yet.
New York City.
Oh, okay,
Bronx.
good. So you're fine. You'll be able to understand me. Where? Type in the chat box. Let me see where everyone's from. I want to see some things. New York City, okay, excellent. Houston, I've heard Houston. Virginia, I think I've heard of Virginia. You Southerners, you're going to have trouble following me.
No, I
Georgia.
watch plenty of movies, so.
Pensacola, okay. Missouri, wow, the show me state. I think that's Missouri. Okay, so let's see. A little bit more background about me, just so you know. I'm a storehouse of useless trivia. If you need a ringer for Trivial Pursuit, you give me a call. I can't remember my calculus to save my life, but I can tell you all six Stooges, which is really sad when you think about it. Let's see what else. I used to do improv in New York City. Anyone ever hear of the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
Yeah.
You've heard of that show? Okay, it was nothing like that. I'm just curious if you heard of the show. I used to do it was called long form improv. It wasn't like the show, actually. Amy Poehler from Parks and Recreation. It was her theater, the Upright Citizens Brigade, and ran into a bunch. Amy Poehler, if you've seen her, she's like 2 feet tall. This woman is tiny. She came to perform for us. Her and Rachel Dratch, who used to be on Saturday Night Live, and I think combined they didn't make a whole person. They were hysterical, though. It was funny. At the end of the performance, I was walking by Rachel. She's on the phone. She's like, yes, Tina, I'm coming. I'm like, oh, she's probably talking to Tina Fey. So it's really cool to run into all these people. But this leads into my amazing ability. I have an amazing ability to make people famous. You see, fame comes at me so quickly, it misses me and hits the people around me. So if you want to become rich and famous, after this class is over, don't ever talk to me again. It seems like when people stop talking to me, they become rich and famous. I'll give you an example. Back in '87, now if anyone says, oh, I wasn't born yet, you just failed the class. Make me feel old. Back in '87, I stopped talking to one side of the family, and one of the guys in that side of the family was on a TV show. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. It was called Seinfeld. Anyone ever hear that show?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, maybe you did. I'll give you a hint. I'm related to one of them, and I'm bald. So, who's my cousin? Who's on the
I don't
show?
know. I've never watched it.
You never.
I've heard of it.
Good.
Never watched
I never watched it
I
either.
know who you're
Made me
talking
feel
about,
bad.
but I don't know what his name is.
You guys might know him as Jason Alexander. To me, he's J. Scott Greenspan. That was his name. You had to call him J. Scott. So he was a nice kid. He's a couple years older than me. We used to hang out all the time. Did anyone ever hear the movie Hugo? Came out about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese film. The guy who wrote the book it was based on, I was buddies with him in high school. His name was Brian Selznick. Let's see what else. There was a guy I did improv with for a little while. His name was Andy Milanakis. You might not recognize the name, but if you saw him, you'd probably be like, oh, yeah, I know him. He has the same disease Gary Coleman had, where he looks really young. When I first met the guy, he was outside the theater. It was midnight. He was smoking, drinking, grabbing anyone who walked by. I'm like, what kind of parent lets their 12-year-old do this? It's disgusting. He was like 28. He's pretty famous now. One of my friends from high school, I stopped talking to him. He's like the CEO of a major corporation. He like hobnobs with presidential candidates, so he's a multi-billionaire now. So once again, if you want to become rich and famous, after this class is over, don't ever talk to me again. It just seems to work. I should charge people for this. Okay, here's my contact info. If you need to reach me, this is my cell number. You're welcome to call it. I don't. Be my guest. Now, I have two cell phones. One of them is strictly a full sale cell phone. They didn't give it to me. I just use it for that. This one here. And what's odd is that the cell phone is just really freaky. It's like you call it, you leave a message, and it kills itself. It dies. I can't call back. It's very, very odd. So if you call my phone, if I don't happen to answer it, and you leave a message, if all of a sudden, like 2 minutes later, 10 minutes later, the next day, you get a call from a 908 area code, that's me. I'm calling you from my other cell phone. It's very odd that it does that. I'm not fixing it. Let Full Sail fix it. That's my feeling. So if you call this number and you catch the machine, don't even be surprised if as you're leaving the message, all of a sudden you're getting a call from 908. That's my other phone. So keep calling me on this one though, the 407 number, because they want to keep like a paper trail. So don't call on the 908 one. Call on the 407. Actually, email's probably the best if you want to get me there. Now, keep it reasonable time-wise. Supposedly, I have kids. I say supposedly because my wife always had friends over. You know, we're doing DNA testing. I'm in the top 5, so I'm really hoping. Keep my fingers crossed. She always hates when I do that. She's not here right now, but she'd always give me the nasty look whenever I said that. Now, I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. So, I mean, if you call it midnight, I'm probably up, but don't do that because you'll wake them. And they get really cranky, and then I get cranky. Then everyone's just cranky. Okay, lateness policy. Now we're talking policy info. There is a time difference in the world. So we go by Eastern Standard Time. If you're out west, you're going to be a 3-hour difference. I think Missouri, I think you're like a 1-hour difference from us. Is that true, Missouri?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so you got to go by the time difference. If the thing says it's due at 12 midnight or 11:59, then it's due 11:59 Eastern Time. If you're an hour behind us, that's 10:59. Do you think you could email it to me if you missed the time? What do you think? Yes or no? 50-50 shot.
Nah.
You say what? I'm trying to hear you. What do you say? Yes or no? Can you email it or no? No. Correct. You are correct. You cannot email it to me. I'm not allowed to accept it via email. So I can open up the exercise again, but I can't accept it via email. It's because, honestly, if you send it to me email, we have no way to prove you did it. You could show us your email, but if it never got to mine, I didn't see it. So if you do it through FSO, they can trace it. Now, we got some more people. Okay. See, if they had popped in just as I did that other slide, it would have been hilarious. They did. They don't know what I'm talking about. The ones who just popped in like, what the hell is he talking about? So,
put more than one of those slides in there.
Yeah, I should throw those slides in every so often, so whenever I hear the beep, I go, oh, okay, thanks. I'm glad you all came. That'd be funny. Right now, the people hate me. Okay, now, lateness stuff. Discussion boards. If a discussion board closes, I can't do anything about it. I have absolutely no ability to open it again. So when a discussion board closes, it's closed. I can't, at 12:01, if you were going to submit it, you can't email it to me and say, please, could you submit this? I can't do it. They'll yell at me and I can't even get it into there. So sorry, if you miss a discussion, it's over. They're only 5% usually, so if you miss one, it's not a crime. Now, assignments. You're supposed to get a 3-day grace period, and you're supposed to get 10% off per day. I say supposedly because I don't like to be a ball buster. If it was up to me, I'd give you all hundreds and just do the course. Right about now, you're all like, okay, we'll go for that. But let's say something is due on Sunday night, and today's Tuesday. And you look at your calendar, you're like, oh no, the Venusians are coming on Sunday. They're coming to probe me. I'll never get it done in time. We all go through that. The Venusians come, they probe you. Right about now, you're like, what's this guy smoking now? So you know something's coming. So you just contact me before Sunday and go, look, it's just not going to make it in because the Venusians are coming, whatever. Now, let's say it's Sunday night, and you're about to turn it in, and you hear a knock at the door, and it's the Martians. They're coming to probe you now. They're so unreliable. They just come whenever they feel like it. So if that happens, on Monday, send me an email. Say, look, I couldn't make it. And honestly, you could send me an email and say, look, I fell asleep. That's fine. I don't mind. We all have lives. Well, I don't have one, but maybe you guys do. I'm reasonable. And I'll tell you this. When you send me an email, if you say, look, I can't turn it in because of XYZ, I'm going to believe you. You're my students. I'm going to believe you point blank. You don't have to show me proof. You don't have to get doctor's notes. I'm going to believe you. But don't abuse it. I'll give you an example. 2 years ago now, I did some teaching for a different group. I helped them out. And I didn't sit with them or anything, so I didn't talk to any of the other teachers there. I did their month 2 and their month 10. Or was it month 11? It's one or the other. Anyway, in month 2, student, couldn't turn her stuff in because their grandmother passed away. I was like, wow, that's sad. Okay, I wasn't that cavalier. I'm like, really sorry about that. Well, month 10 rolls around, and he's back in my class, and I'm filling in for somebody, so my name wasn't at the top. It was somebody else's name. And lo and behold, his grandmother passed away again. I'm like, wow, that's just awful. I found out from the other teachers his grandmother passed away like 5 times. I'm like, this poor woman, she comes back from the dead just to pass away again? I'm like, that's a horrible existence. So, yeah, we nailed him on that one. So I'm very reasonable. I'm going to believe you, and I'm telling you right now, you don't have to lie to me. And like I said, even if it's something silly like you fell asleep, that's fine. We can work on that. I can open them up again and give you more time. So don't panic. Now, don't abuse
Maybe
it.
his grandma was a cat.
What was that? I couldn't hear you.
Maybe his grandma was a cat.
Oh, very funny. You better watch what you say here. Me and my family, we're the crazy cat people. We have 9 of them. So
Oh, wow.
I know, we're the crazy cat. Like, for example, when I look around, I see a bunch of eyes looking back at me. So we're the crazy cat people. But yeah, she might have been a cat. You never know. I wonder what that would make him. But yeah, like I said, don't abuse it. Don't say, okay, I'll get it into you, and then wait 3 weeks. Because at that point, I can't do anything. Because the admins will look at that and go, no, not going to happen. Now, with grades, first of all, my comments, they're always individualized. I do not have a bank of comments. I do not have a copy and paste bank where I just copy and paste it in there. I might say very similar things to you and somebody else, but you'll always know that I looked at your stuff because I'll make a comment about it. You'll see that I looked at what you wrote. Now, let's say I give you amazing comments. You're like, wow, he loved my stuff. He thought it was better than sliced bread, but you got a 10. Well, probably I mistyping the other 0 and you got 100. If that happens, don't come at me with an email with guns blazing, calling me every name in the book. That's not professional. All you need to do is say, hey, I had really good comments, but you gave me a 10. Was there an issue? And I'll be like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. And I'll fix it. Another thing is why, let's say we had an understanding that you were going to turn it in a couple days later. Why'd you get a 0? I thought we had an understanding. Once again, don't come in with guns blazing. What most likely happened, this does happen. I've seen it happen. It usually happens like once every 2 months. FSO sometimes, if something doesn't get turned in, will grade it for me. In other words, we'll give you a 0. So don't freak out. I can always change that. The system's weird. Sometimes it does that. Now, let's talk about grades for a minute. Let's say you get an 80, and I took 10 points off because of something. And you look at it and go, wait a second, I did that. Why did you take 10 points off? Once again, don't come, I didn't mean to hit that. Don't come in with guns blazing, calling me every name in the book. Just say, hey, I did this. Why did you take points off? I probably made a mistake. I have a lot of students. I'm more than happy to give you the points. I'm happy to put points back up. Now, let's say you got a 90 on something, and I didn't take 10 points off. You were supposed to do something, you didn't do it, but I missed it. Don't say anything to me. If you call me or you email me and say, you gave me 10 points and I never did this, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to take 10 points away. So keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. I can't tell you how many people have done that. They're like, oh, you should have taken these points off. I'm like, well, I'm sorry. Now I have to. Because if the admins find out, they're going to get very upset. Okay, professionalism. Professionalism is not graded until the bitter end. Professionalism just means you are going to be a professional. You're going to send professional-looking emails in discussion boards. You're going to be nice to the other people and professional. You're not going to call them nasty names. You're not going to say, wow, that opinion was stupid, you moron. Save that for me. Let me do that. No, I'm not going to do that to you. So just make sure you just act like you would if you were in a very stuffy office. You're not going to start saying nasty stuff to people. Well, you might. I never know. It depends on the office. But, that's what professionalism is. Now, in the time that I've been doing this at this school, I've only had to take professional points off once. Because I'll warn you. If, like, for example, I had somebody sending me emails that were all in caps. And I wrote him back. I'm like, you do know you're yelling at me. He didn't know that. He's like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just typing. I'm like, no, you're in caps. You're yelling at me. He completely didn't know that. So I warned him so that as he went through Full Sail, he knows not to do that to his other professors because they'll ding me on it left and right. Grades takes anywhere from a day to a week. It all depends. I do not look at the assignment until it closes. Reason I did that, I used to grade it the minute I saw it come in, but then I found out people were talking to each other and saying, oh, here's what you should do, here's what you shouldn't do. I didn't think that was kind of fair. So what I did is I wait until it closes and then I'll look at it. So if an assignment is due on Sunday, and let's say you turn it in today, Tuesday, you're a go-getter, you turn it right in, and it was due Sunday, and on Wednesday you call me and you go, so what did I get? I'll be like, I have no clue, I haven't looked at it. I'm not going to look at it until Monday at the earliest. So just warning you there. Now remember, if I miss something, if you have any questions, just ask. I only take off very few points for asking questions if you get it wrong. I'm just kidding. One other thing, very important, I can be bribed. Money works great. I'm running a special this month. Buy 1 point, get 1 point absolutely free. I think that's a great deal. I would take that.
I need 4.
What?
I need 4 of them.
Chocolate works great. Milk chocolate. If you send me dark chocolate, I'll fail you because dark chocolate's evil. It's a tool of the devil. It's like the metric system. It's pure evil. Mint chocolate. Oh my God, I'll expel you from school. Mint dark chocolate is like, I don't know what kind of creepy person made this thing up. Look.
Right?
Oh, I saw the worst candy bar I've ever seen in my life. It was a Three Musketeers dark chocolate mint. I wanted to burn it.
Wow.
I was like, that is disgusting. What abomination that is. Ugh.
Those
Milk
are pretty
chocolate.
popular down here.
What was that, Catherine?
The Three Musketeers that you're talking about, they're pretty popular down here in Virginia.
Oh, the mint chocolate? The mint dark chocolates?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew I hated Virginia.
Spelled.
Oh, that's hard.
I didn't say I liked them. I just said they were popular.
I know.
I'm just.
You have weird people there. Oh, yeah, no, the milk chocolate. White chocolate's okay, too. I like that, too. Okay, it's a flexible class, but for some reason, let's say an assignment says you must use iMovie, then you must use iMovie. Now, I don't think we have any like that, but I'm just saying if an assignment says you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Okay, now we finished with the intro. Let's get to the meat of the class. Is this it? Yep, okay. Let me get to the beginning of it. Woo, there we are. Okay, love the abbreviation, CRP. Okay, let me play this. I'm going to have to move my thing over a little bit. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it's playing. There we go. Now, just so you know, can you guys read the entire thing where it says creative?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
on my screen, because I have the go-to training panel up, mine says TIV presentation. You know what? I can't do it. It's not going to work. Yeah, I can't.
Yours don't matter.
What was that?
Jeez.
I said yours don't matter. We just need to see it.
Oh, you're funny. That's good. That's really good. I just failed you, by the way. Yeah, well, it'd be nice if I could see what I was talking about, you know? Okay, so let me move this over a little bit because I can't run it and see. Who am I? We just went over all that. We should be good buddies now. And remember, don't talk to me afterwards. Okay, what we expect from you. They actually did these 2 slides backwards. By the way, I know these people. They're not students. They're teachers. Actually, him I don't know. That's somebody else. Him I know. Anyway, what we expect from you is, try. We want you to explore. We want you to really stretch yourself. Have an open mind. Really get into this because this is your first class here, and do not be afraid. I am going to fail you. I will do that. I usually pick one person out a month to fail. I'm not going to say who because it'd be wrong to point Lee out like that, so I won't do that. Don't worry. Don't know I'm failing you, Lee. Okay, so be cool.
I got to keep above a 3.2, man. I'm keeping above a 3.2.
Okay,
man.
good.
Shoe shine.
Go for a 4.0.
I got good apples. So do you need a shoe shine?
Oh, by the way, some people have asked why I don't turn on the camera during the presentation. 2 reasons. Number one is that I found, especially at the first presentations, is that people sometimes are a little shy, and even though we're not next to you, they're still a little shy. They're like, oh no, they can see me. So I keep that off. That way there's some anonymity. And the other reason is because if you looked at me, you'll go, oh my God, our instructor is Brad Pitt. He's so incredible. And I know, I get that all the time. You're not supposed to laugh at that. You're supposed to go, yes, that's so true.
How about George Costanza?
No, ew. By the way,
Okay, no more.
if you've ever watched Seinfeld, the way George acts, that's him. He's not acting. He was always like that growing up. So that's pretty much him. Anyway, he's a very talented guy, though. So it really sucks I stopped talking to him. Anyway, so I'm bald, like I said. This guy shaves his head. I don't know why. Why do you shave your head? If you have hair, use it. Okay, what the student expects from us, they did these backwards because down here, approach with a positive attitude, that's what we expect from you guys. Basically, what you should expect from me is that I'm gonna be here for you. I'm your helper. I'm your compatriot. I'm going to get you through this. You need to talk to me about anything, you do it. If you want to give me money, I'm here to accept it. That's who I am. So that's fine. So that's, we're like your mentor. We're going to get you on the right path. We're pointing you in the right direction. And we want you, I can't talk for anyone else, but I want all of you to get hundreds. Honestly, I would like you all to succeed. I am not an adversary. If you get 20 points off something, I didn't take 20 points off because I don't like you. Well, maybe Lee, I did that, but that's just Lee. I'm just kidding, Lee. I have to follow the rubric. If the rubric says you do A, B, C, and you only did A and B, I can't do anything about it. I have to take the points off. Don't get mad. Just work. We'll work together. We'll get you going again so that you feel good about it. Okay. By the way, copyrighted materials. Don't steal anything, please. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Don't hand in stuff that somebody else had, or cite it. If you steal something from the internet, just at least tell me. Just be careful with that stuff because you can get into a lot of trouble with this. And if you think you can't get, I got to show you this. If you think you can't get tracked down, here, open up the window real quick. I think this website's still up. Here we go. Okay, I used to teach at a different college. I taught web design. Back in 2000, I created this website. See, and it's still up. I don't know why I keep paying for this. So this is Neptune Mall. Okay, so there you go. You can see how old it is. Anyway, this image right there, I stole it from the internet. Do you know about a month ago, I got an email from somebody who found this image and said, it was some lawyer saying, we're going to sue you because you used our image. And he wanted $84 for that. So I'm like, no, I'm not giving you anything for that. But I used it for educational purposes, so I was okay. But they'll track you down. So be careful about that stuff. Oh, we also expect college level writing.
Question.
Yes.
Before we get into that.
Yes.
So are we allowed to use the internet? We just have to report it, or are we really not allowed to use it?
No, you can use it. You need to cite it. Somewhere in your document, you need to tell me where you got this from. We are kind of protected because of what's called fair use. If you're using stuff for educational reasons, you have a little more flexibility. But it's not a catch-all. Let's say you create something in this class and it has Mickey Mouse on it, and it's the most incredible presentation ever that it goes viral. Everyone in the world sees it. Trust me, Disney is going to sue you back to the Stone Age. You could say to them, oh, but it was for a class. And Disney's going to say, we don't care, we're suing you. So you got to watch that. Fair use only goes so far. But yes, if you find stuff, you can. You just need to cite it. You just need to give the people the credit. Now, college level writing. This is here. I'm going to tell you, this is the easiest way for me to explain college level writing. I can't tell you how many people have written stuff, they've handed in, and that is what they use for the letter I instead of I. Okay? You need to write it as if you were writing a resume to a company. You would not write slang. You would not write badly spelled words. There's a new thing out. It's called Spell Checker. Use it. But remember, Spell Checker, let's say you wanted to write the word to and you write toe. Toe is a word. It's not going to catch that. Just reread your stuff. You want to make sure you're writing it at a professional level, not something you did in junior high. It's got to be professional. See, professionalism we talked about already. Okay, this resonate and slideology. Here, resonate causes change. This is very touchy-feely here. I'm not even going to go into the touchy-feeliness. This thing, industry and art thrive on change. You're all pretty much here for art and in the art industry and things like that. What is everybody here for, by the way? If you want to type it in the chat box, give me some idea about what you're doing. You could say it. You could type it in the chat box. Animation. Oh, good for you. Computer animation. Good. Okay, yeah, type it in there. Let's see what everyone's doing. Game design. Oh, nice. Creative writing. Good. Music. See, look at this. You're all in creative fields. The only thing constant is change. So you have to be prepared and you have to be excited for change. Good. Keep typing them in. This is really cool to see these. This is great. You got a nice little group here. By the way, the other reason why I like to have you type this, you might want to make connections with people in here. Like, for example, recording arts. Recording arts, there might be some need for you in the game industry. You might want to buddy up with someone in the game industry. Film, cinematography, these are all things that you need to go cross, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say cross culture. It's cross pollinate. You want to go into you want to talk to the other people in the class, see what they're doing, and make connections now. Okay, now we're going to talk about presentation. Oh, computer animation. That's a good one. Okay. Have you guys ever had bad presentations? You've been in bad presentations before? And if anyone says this is one of them, I'm going to hit you.
Yes.
A bunch of you are like, yeah, I'm experiencing it right now.
Don't push it any further.
Think about some of the bad presentations that you've ever been in. Has anyone ever given a bad presentation? Oh, I'm the only one. The rest of you were perfect. Yeah.
Acting in a play count?
Yeah, if you weren't prepared. Yes.
Well, okay, I was in elementary school, and I was the main bad guy, and I should have said my first line, but I got so shy, I got a laugh attack, fell on the floor, had to be dragged off stage.
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
That's the you should have said that was your character. You know, like the Joker. You're a laugher.
Yeah, that would work perfectly.
Yeah, that was your character. I'll give you an
It's kind
example.
of hard when you're laughing so hard you're crying.
Oh,
Can't
that
say
is
anything.
that is funny though. I hope someone recorded that because you have to show it to us now.
Aw, I hope someone did. I'll have to track them down.
Oh, I got a good one for you about job orientations. I got to show you one in a second. I got to tell you one of my experiences. Well, I used to work for a small company called AT&T. I don't know if anyone's heard of them. I used to be the guy who'd go out and teach. This is a long time ago. I used to teach computers to these people. And I remember I gave a presentation. It was an internal system. It's nothing you guys would ever touch. And all of a sudden, all the computers froze. And I was stuck. It was my first presentation. And up to that point, I never really spoke in front of people. And I wrote it in my little thing in the discussion board. I started telling lawyer jokes. Oh my God, you would have thought, it turns out this one woman hated me so much after that because her husband was a lawyer. So I'm like, wow, that was a mistake. I got the worst comments off of that one. So I'm going to show you some videos in a second that are kind of funny like that. That's a good point you brought up, Lee. And by the way, do you guys ever see this? I'm not talking about what Socrates said. What's going on here? Do you guys hear about this? This guy back there I think it's in India. These kids had no school. He has a school underneath an overpass because these kids, look, they have no shoes on, and he's teaching them. I thought that's incredible that these people are so into that they would do that.
Awesome.
Okay, here we got some effective. This is a very funny video. First, here, let me get this out of the way. Let me bring it up here. Let me find it. This is like here. It's called Every Presentation Ever. So here, I'm going to move it over to here. Ready? This was a really good video. And then I got to show you another presentation that's phenomenal. Can you guys hear this okay?
Mhm.
Okay, here we go.
Quadruple checking notes as people file in, getting the computer ready, and asking everyone to take a seat. Pretending to click something on the computer to cover up the fact that I don't know what to do with myself.
Arriving just in time.
This is so
Wrapping up
true.
our conversation about a popular TV show we watched last night.
Disdain for popular TV show.
Mediocre icebreaker joke. That doesn't quite land. Attempt to redeem myself by making fun of that guy.
Laughing at that guy.
Laughing because he's laughing and I like him.
Not laughing. And now checking out for the rest of the session.
I'll give you a hint. Don't make fun of anybody for any reason whatsoever. I don't care if they have.
Especially not lawyers.
Yes, especially not lawyers. I remember once I gave a presentation, and the way AT&T did it, on the top of every computer there was a name card, so it was great because I could tell their names. I'm horrible with names. And anyway, this one woman wrote something, and I thought she was trying to be funny, and I was going to say what a great way to start a day. She wrote, "Good woman star." And I'm like, oh, and I didn't say anything. I held myself back, and I am so glad I did. She was a Native American. That was her name. I'm like, oh my God, if I had said something, that would have been horrible. Okay, so here. But this is like, it's just a great, because this is so true what this guy's doing.
Dramatic pause of my presentation.
Question about how long this session will last?
Yep.
Annoyed, vague response.
Exaggerated eye roll.
Okay, they're making it a
Poignant
little bit
quote
too
from
much.
unknown philosopher to kick off presentation in dramatic fashion. Juvenile slide transition to spice things up. Reading a long paragraph exactly as it appears on the PowerPoint slide about a shocking statistic I just learned about.
I've never
followed by
done
all
that.
kinds of vague lingo that no one will remember 2 seconds from now. Capped off by 3 bullet points.
I've never read from a slide, I'll tell you that.
Proudly pause to make sure everyone notices my awesome clip art choice.
I love that punch
Out
back
of
guy.
date pop culture reference.
Correction about the pop culture reference.
Defending pop culture reference by citing social networking site no one uses.
Audible sigh to make sure everyone knows this is a complete waste of my time.
Serious and somewhat over the top reminder about how important this information is. Unexpected technical difficulty. Embarrassment. People can see my desktop background.
Snide remark about how Macs are better than PCs.
Desperate plea for IT guy.
Fixing the problem with an annoyed look on my face.
Yep.
So that everyone knows how good at computers I am.
Unfunny video I'm really proud of having created myself.
You didn't create that.
Texting Brendan in a way that I think is discreet.
Clearly aware of the texting. Prefacing this preface so that no one really understands the point that I'm prefacing. And now, going through.
Okay, enough. You get the point. This is actually a very funny video. That it's so true. Have you guys had experiences like that in presentations?
Yes.
And once again, you're not supposed to go, yes, right now. I'm watching all of you. Here's a terrific one. This one was a promotional video that DOS put together for their internal salespeople. Has anyone ever seen this or heard of this one?
Mm-mm.
Okay, this is MS-DOS, Microsoft. Okay, I just have to play it. This is just 1990s. Okay, I think it's 91. This is supposed to be something everyone goes rah-rah about when they watch it. They would show this at all the internal things. Look at those state-of-the-art computers. Those are incredible. The acting here, just think, these people are trained Shakespearean actors. Oh, funky. Yeah. Good acting. Look at that.
Welcome to the Microsoft MS-DOS 5 upgrade training. This is the first time MS-DOS has been available as an upgrade.
Oh my God, that's terrific.
New.
Right there, I think that dancing sells it. There you go. Get down. Yeah, they're starting to get down.
We're introducing something new. It's essential for all, the many and the few. It's in your store. Microsoft Fancy.
Okay, there's a point between thinking you're cool and being very campy. I don't think they made it to campy on this one. They're taking themselves seriously on this. They're like, look how cool we are. So this is a really pathetic presentation. It's sad. I was a computer geek, not growing up. I was an English major in college, but I did computers. So some of the stuff he talks about is hilarious, though. They're bragging about how much kilobytes of memory it has. I'm like, really? Wow. Kilobytes worth. My first computer in college had no hard drive. There we go.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I still have it. It still works. It was a compact luggable. It was portable because it had a handle on it. So it weighed 24 pounds. You put that on your lap, you'd crush your legs. Okay.
Wow.
There's your audience types. Friendly, apathetic, uninformed, hostile. I've had these too. I've had hostile. And don't say, yeah, you have one right now. Hostile. I had to teach a group of people who were getting fired later that week, and they knew it.
Whoa.
I'm like, oh, this is fun. Thank you. Okay. How do you relate to your audience? What you're going to be doing in your first week here is you're working on creating presentations because your goal is you want to be comfortable presenting to people. You're going to have job interviews. You're going to have things where you have to present to investors. You want to come across as having confidence and believing in what you're doing, and you want to be able to get your point across to them, because if you can do that, that's half the battle. And here's my little tip for you. Whatever your audience is, I like to say give them something more that they would not have gotten if they didn't come. And usually it's a trick. Let me see if I can do it here. Actually, I can't. This is a Mac. I can't do it on the Mac. There's a little trick. How many of you guys have PCs?
Me.
A couple of you? I used to, whenever I had my last college I taught at was in Pennsylvania, and it was an historically agricultural college. So these people didn't want to learn computers. They wanted to learn how to inseminate a pig or a cow or something. And yes, they had classes like that. It was very scary. And they would talk about it as if this was nothing. It's like how we talk about, oh yeah, I had English class. They're talking about, yeah, I inseminated Bessie today. Here's how it went down. I'm like, ew. And it always seemed right before lunch too. Gross. But I used to start, I realized that these people are not really here from computers. So what I did is I'd always start them out by saying, hey, I'm going to show you a trick that's going to get your roommate to buy you lunch or dinner. And all of a sudden they perk their ears up. There was a thing you could do in DOS. The older computers, it worked great because you could fill up the entire screen. There was a command called the prompt command. The prompt command in DOS, right now your prompt in DOS is just a C. It would look like a C with a colon. If you type the prompt command, you could make it say anything. It's just the prompt. So I had them change it to say, severe computer crash, press enter to abort. And I said, do that on your friend's computer, then kind of walk to the side of the room. When they come back in, they're going to freak out and start hitting enter. And basically, they're just hitting the prompt, and the whole screen fills up with that. And they say, then you run over and type this. And they'll say, oh, I'm so happy. Thanks for helping me. What can I do for you? They all love that. They're like, oh, a few of them did it, and they got free dinners out of it. I'm like, that's sad. So if you want, I'll show you guys some tricks later. Not today, because I don't know if I trust you yet. We'll see. Now, they wanted us to show you the Challenger speech. Now, I always hate asking this. How many people were not even alive when the Challenger blew up in '86? Come on, be honest. 1986. Who was born after 1986?
Me.
Okay, there we go. We got some honest people here. Yeah, I feel so old because I remember this. I was in college, so I'm pretty old. Okay, you were a 1900s baby? Wow, Sean, you're pretty old there. Damn. 19, that's what I thought. It's like 1800s, good for you. Okay, Aaron, you're making me feel really old. Wow, I feel old. Oh, you're killing me, you guys. Oh
my God.
I know when you look at me, you're going to say, Andy, you look like you're 18. I don't get it. I was born in 66. Okay, 1966. When I was 2, I lied about my age to get into Vietnam, so I fought for your freedom.
Hey, you're younger than my parents, though.
Oh my God, I'm younger than your parents? Yes. If you say, oh, you're younger by them by a year, I'm going to kill you.
3.
Wait, how old are your parents?
52.
Oh my God, I'm
You're younger than
48.
my parents too.
You're all killing me. I hate you all. I hate you all. Oh my God. Oh, that's killing me. Uh, well, okay, I got to get back to this because I'm just feeling so old now.
Oh.
I remember this challenge. I remember the Challenger disaster. I walked into the fraternity. Everybody was staring at the TV. Back then, a 19-inch color. We were impressed, and I remember the Challenger disaster. It was let's go. I think I have it up. I'll just play it for a minute or two. Okay, let's get rid of this. There it is, Reagan. I think that was the Western White House. Oh no, that's University of Virginia. Sorry, he did a lot at the Western White House.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd planned to speak to you tonight to report on the State of the Union. But the events of earlier today have led me to change those plans. Today is a day for mourning and remembering. We know we share this with all of the people of our country. This is truly a national loss. 19 years ago, almost to the day, we lost 3 astronauts in a terrible accident on the ground. But we've never lost an astronaut in flight. We've never had a tragedy like this. And perhaps we've forgotten the courage it took for the crew of the shuttle. But they, the Challenger 7, were aware of the dangers, overcame them, and did their jobs brilliantly. We mourn 7 heroes. Michael Smith.
He was actually a really good speaker, Ray. You do know, most of you probably know Reagan from history class. Oh boy, I was old enough to vote for him the second time. Personally, I think he ruined the country, but he was the right president for the time. Okay, we're not going to get political here. So nobody get political. Okay, so now I didn't want to go into the whole thing, but what Reagan's going to do in this speech is he's going to talk to each group. He mentioned something. He started out by talking about the astronauts, and that's going to reach the people who are in that field. Then he's going to talk about other groups of people. So he's making connections, and not just, okay, I'm going to talk to the men out there, or I'm going to talk to the women out there. He's making deeper connections. That makes a good presentation, is when you can connect to these people and kind of fill a need for what they want or what they're interested in. Okay, so meeting the hero. These slides, some of these slides are really, really corny. Okay, had nothing to do with these. Meeting the hero. You're the hero. The audience is the hero. So this slide is just corny. I'm sorry. Anyway, you need to reach them. It's not their goal to reach you. So when you give a presentation, what's important to them? Like I said, when I did my computer class, I knew being able to say, oh, I know a trick on my roommate, and I could trick them. That was important to these people. They liked doing that, and it worked out really well. Find out what their hobbies are. Talk to them a little beforehand, and kind of that way it's called a callback. In improv, you used to call it a callback. That if somebody said something earlier and then you talk about it, that makes a connection with them. Okay, and I am the mentor. I love this. Is a good quote from Star Trek. He was a captain of Starship for 12 minutes, saved 800 lives. Do better. I'm like, that's pretty good. I can't. Okay, good. You just crushed me. So, yes, I like Star Trek. I actually went to school with Leonard Nimoy's nephew. So, see, I have greatness around me. It's just, I'm not. So, I say it again. Don't talk to me ever. Okay. Now, the journey. Oh, this is such I'm sorry, touchy-feely stuff. Basically, the way I'd like you to approach the class, and the way we can all approach the class, is, once again, have an open mind. You're going to stretch yourself. Be prepared to do things that are a little different because you're trying to get rid of your old beliefs. That's the thing. You might have a certain way of doing something. Try something else. This is the class to try things in, to do different things. Because as you move forward in your time here, it becomes very set. Everything gets very concrete and set. Here's where you want to stretch yourself and try other things. See, we're almost done. Okay? Now, let me go to your assignment here. What I like to do at the end of the presentation, we're almost done, by the way, is I try not to talk to the bitter end because I know what you're saying. You're saying, Andy, I love your voice. I could listen to it all day. Who's saying that? Who's saying they could listen to my voice all day? Let me say it again. Who wants an A? Put it that way. Yeah. Now all of a sudden people are like, wow, you have a lovely voice.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
Brilliant,
to listen
man.
to it.
That's what I thought. All of a sudden everyone's like, wow, you got such a beautiful voice, Andy. Good for you. Okay.
Not.
Man, Lee just wants to fail. You're killing me, Lee. I love you, Lee. Okay, so I'm not going to read the instructions point blank, but they give you some good ideas. You're going to plan a presentation. It's something you are interested in, and you're giving it to people who are also interested in it. So you don't have to worry about convincing anyone of anything. And it gives you some ideas. If you get stuck, you're going to do a pitch on Shark Tank, a job interview, presentation. Here's what your presentation should have. Now, if you read the book, it gives you some very important things about your presentation. Know your audience. There should be a distinct beginning, middle, and end. This is an important thing. It's called the STAR. Something they'll always remember. When they finish your presentation, there should be something they go, wow, I do remember that. And that's important. So I want you to read over the instructions real well. Think about who your audience is. Okay, so this is the assignment, and I want to show you the rubric. Okay, this is planning a presentation. If you meet all the requirements thoroughly, that's 25 points. If you meet most of them, it goes a little less, a little less, a little less. I can't stress it enough. When you're doing this, look at the rubric. Use this as your guide. Okay, so you want to have well-supported things. Let's say in your presentation you decide, I'm going to do a presentation about turtles, and you never mentioned turtles in your presentation. Well, there's a problem there. You don't have very well-supported stuff or good detail. So make sure it makes sense. Put it up on the discussion board. Let other people see it. Get some feedback from them. But these are the rubrics. You'll see what you do in the rubric, and I'll also give you a lot of comments about it. And mine should have opened, but if not, I'll post a real long one that I used to do. That was horrible.
Can you leave this up for 2 seconds?
Can I what?
Leave this up for 2 seconds. I'm taking a picture of the screen, so I know.
Oh well, it's in your thing. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about copying it. It's in there. The rubrics are in there. You'll be able to see it.
Okay.
Now this is I closed the wrong thing. And this is the discussion rubric and the discussion. Here we go. Okay, I posted something in the first discussion. Follow the instructions. Here are the instructions. This is what you want to hit on when you're doing this discussion. Okay? Describe the level of comfort. Discuss public speaking you remember. Discuss the time. Your discussion should not be one sentence. If it is, trust me, you didn't hit all these things. If you hit all these questions that are in here in your discussion post, you're going to be getting the highest points. Now, you're not going to lose points based on your opinion of something. Let's say, I'm not going to tell you my political bend, but let's say we're on completely opposite ends of the political spectrum. And you write something, and I'm like, wow, I do not agree with that at all. I'm not taking points away because I don't agree with it. The only reason I would take points away is if you do things like you're off topic. Then you take points. Or it's a really short post. There's like no insight into it. You're like, I'd like to talk about political stuff, and then that's all you wrote. Well, you're not going to get a lot of points for that. So that's why. So don't worry about putting your opinion into things. I like to read your opinion. You're never going to lose points for your opinion, ever. Okay, so I think we can close Reagan because most of you don't even remember him.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
When we were doing when the assignments were available to us yesterday, the discussion board there, is that the discussion you're talking about, or will this discussion that you're describing be located in the lesson itself?
No, you were right. The discussion board is this. It's 1.4. This is the discussion. Now, my screen's going to be a little different than yours because I have the instructor version, but this is the discussion we're talking about right here. Presentation history discussion. Here, let me go to the class discussion. I'll just show you mine real quick. This is the one, if you go there, if you haven't gone here yet, here's the one I put in. And I'm giving you some, see, I even talk about the AT&T thing. I'm giving you some questions to hit. I'm giving you some things to focus on. And if you focus on the stuff from the instructions, and if you look at stuff written here and you focus on that, and then you comment to other students, make sure you make comments to other students more than just, hey, nice work. You know, give a nice deep comment, because if you don't, then I got to take points off. So as long as you do all that, you're going to do excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no problem. Now, you only get 3 questions per month, so you're down to 2 questions now.
Yeah, I was just gonna apologize to the class for being a dork ass and stupid question.
Oh, please. I know this is going to sound corny, but there's no such thing as stupid questions. You ask anything you want, and you can ask as many questions as you like. That's fine with me. You know something? A lot of times people are like, oh, I know it's a stupid question, but I'll tell you this. Usually about 50% of the people in the room have the exact same question. They just don't feel comfortable asking. Okay, I am going to stop the recording.